Hey, what's up, guys? Going to my normal 1-2 game, run very hot, win a lot of hands, and today's episode is brought to you by me. Alright guys, welcome back. Let me know something. Do you like that title card or do you not? Because I'm going to be putting them up for the regulars in this game. Anyways, to the poker hand, look down and see Ace-Jack suited. Very good hand. We're short-handed right now. Game's just getting started. And yeah, Ace-Jack suited, I'm going to raise up to $10. Small blind calls, gets around to middle position. They decide to make the call as well. So we're going three ways to this flop, which is a pretty good flop when it comes out 8, 9, 4 with 2 diamonds. I now have 2 overcards and the nut flush draw, so when action checks to me, I am going to be building this pot and leading out for $20, or rather betting. Small blind decides to make the call, and we are heads up against... Yep, that's right. Heads up against the mogul. The turn is the bink king of diamonds. It goes check, check. I feel like I should be deceptive here. That way she can lead out with bluffs on the river, things like that. And, you know, I mean, it's just, sometimes it's good to check every now and then. With that being said, 4 spades comes on the river. She does lead out for 35. And now it is time to spring the trap. I'm 100% raising in this spot. If she has a boat, she's getting all the chips. It is what it is. I'm not worried about it. I raise it up to 90. She pretty much snap calls, in all honesty. She asks how much it is and says, I call. She turns over ace king. Very unfortunate cooler for her, because I have the nut flush. So that check back on the turn maybe cost me some money. I think I could have gotten more had I just bet the turn, but it is what it is. Guys, about these title cards real quick are no indicator of how good a player is, okay? It's saying their aggression and their luck. I'm not putting skill on there because I don't want people to have their feelings hurt if I rank them lower on skill, and it just kind of is what it is. These are fun. This player, she's running very unlucky tonight, and, you know, that's why I put her luck lower. With that being said, she is an amazing player, probably one of the best players on the table. Definitely can beat me 9 times out of 10. So I just want to let you guys know this isn't fun. We're all having a good time. I don't want anyone's feelings hurt. If people's feelings get hurt, I may have to stop the title cards. I've asked everyone for permission ahead of time. But enough about this. Let's move on to the next hand. Alright guys, for next hand we look down. It is a pot limit Omaha hand. Like I said, the game's shorthanded, and in this particular game there's a reverse button that every time the regular button meets up with it, you play one hand of Omaha. And since it's shorthanded, there's a lot more Omaha being played. With that being said, look down and see 9, Jack, 8, Queen double suited. There was a $5 button straddle, so I raise it up to 25, get a couple callers, and we're going 3 ways to this flop, which is 5, 10, 3 with 2 clubs. Not the best flop in the world. I am wrapped around the 10, so checks through. Turn is a 4 of hearts. I now have a queen high flush draw, so when the small blind leads out for $25, I think I have to make a call full ring. Maybe you can fold because it's a 3rd nut flush, but I think when it's shorthanded like this, I got to float one time and see what happens. He could have a straight right now. We could suck out on him. He could have a club draw. He could have all kind of things. He doesn't have to have that ace or king high flush draw, but now the 8 of hearts comes and we have the queen high flush. This player jams all in, and this player is... That's right, he is the nice guy. So when he jams all in for $90, I'm kind of in a little spot. Like I said, I have the 3rd nuts, but he's representing a king or ace high flush here. That being said, there's 125 in the pot, and this player can be aggressive. He does know how to bluff, and he's not afraid to put his chips in if he thinks he'll take down a pot. So being shorthanded, I think I have to call. I throw in the chips, $305 in the pot. He says that I'm good, flips over his cards. He did have the king of hearts trying to bluff me off this one. Not today, Mr. Nice Guy. I think I'm going to have to change his name after this. That was not very nice. But it was nice of him to donate his chips, raking in $305. All in all, the night's going amazing so far. Let's move on to the next hand and keep this momentum going. Let's go. For the next hand, I look down and see King Queen offsuit, another premium. I'm just getting premiums left and right. Under the gun raised up to $6. That's not enough for me. I raise it up to 15 from the cutoff. The big blind calls, and then the under the gun in the middle position call as well. So we're going 4 ways to the flop, which is 10 Jack deuce with 2 hearts, flop open-ended with 2 overs. That is good enough for me. Once action checks around, I am definitely going to be betting this flop. I got to charge the draws, you know, maybe get something to fold. I bet $40, and the big blind goes into the tank for just a little bit, not too long, before he decides he wants to stack up all of his chips and put them into the middle. That's right, big blind goes all in for $85. And guys, before we see what happens, because of course I call for just $45 more. Like I said, I have 2 overs and open-ended. I'm never folding this at this point in time. But before we see what happens, real quick, that is right, guys. Believe it or not, 75% of you are not subscribed. So I appreciate the 25% that are. If you're not and you enjoy the content, please do me a favor. Just drop a sub down below. It's free to do. Does not cost you anything. And yeah, everyone that has sub, thank you so much. I honestly appreciate it. It really does mean the world to me that you guys are enjoying the content. But with all that being said, enough mushy stuff. Let's get back into the hand. The turn is the bank 9 of diamonds. That's right. Turn the nuts. Fade any board pair. Flush draw 4 spades is the river. And we are scooping in this $230 pot. The opponent showed King 9 for the gut shot. He actually hit his pair on the turn, but that pair did give us the nut straight. So scooping in $230, and let's move on to the next hand. All right, for the next hand, we are going to be playing another pot limit Omaha. I do have a $5 button straddle. Look down and see 5 King Queen 3 with the King Queen of clubs. Well, once again, table is very short-handed, so we have 4 players call, and I am never raising this. I would not even play this hand if it wasn't a $5 straddle, but it is, and this is where I'm at. Flop comes out Queen 8, Queen. 2 hearts on the board. We flop trips. Not too bad. There are some draws out there, so when action checks me, I definitely feel like I need to bet the pot, which is $25. Small blind gets out of the way, gets back to the big blind player. She calls. This is the mogul, by the way, from earlier in the vlog. We're going heads up to the turn, which is the bank 5 of clubs. That's right. We bowed up. Queen 5 is almost the nuts. Queen 8 is the nuts, but it's close enough for me to put her all in for her remaining $60. She thinks for a split second and then calls. This pot is $195, and we're going to the river. There's not much that I'm afraid of. You know, just hopefully she doesn't have, you know, kings or aces or a higher kicker and hits it. But anyways, deuce of spade comes out. I have Queen 5 second nuts on the board. She shows that she had aces, and unfortunately they did get cracked. Taking down $195 and moving on to the next hand. Let's keep the heater going. All right, going back to Hold'em, and I look down, see pocket 10s from the small blind. Beautiful hand. Like I said, nothing but premiums. You know, you ever play poker and just feel like you have plot armor, you know? Like you are that guy? That's kind of how I feel today. I'm just running good. Raise it up to $15. Big blind is thinking about what he wants to do. Just for some context, he had been on a little bit of tilt. He is a good guy. He decides to ship it all in for $180. Action folds back around to me, and I, of course, make the call. We discuss what we would like to do. He says he wants to go flop twice. I let him know I'm okay with that, and we're going heads up against. That's right, going up against the OG. Luckily, he did not put his stat points in luck, and as you guys know from the beginning of the video, I have maxed out my luck. So hopefully that pays off in this hand. Now, I did ask him what he had. Right now, dealer's just getting the pot right, but we were talking while this all was happening, and he let me know that he does, in fact, have 2 overs. He has ace queen. So when the flop, we're going flop twice, comes out queen 8 ace, it's not looking too good for you, boy. But I bank the 10 on the river on the main board, and unfortunately I don't bink again, so we're going to end up chopping this pot. But that's what happens when you put all your skill points into luck, boys. You get to bink rivers. Chopping it up, no bloodshed. Moving on to the next hand. You know what's better than pocket 10s? Pocket Kings. That's right, especially when there's a $5 straddle out there. Man, I'm telling you, just I'm the protagonist and I got plot armor. It is what it is. I raise it up to 25. Hijack calls. The button who straddled 5 decides he's going to make the call as well. So we're going 3 ways to this flop, which comes out king. No, I'm kidding. It's 10 deuce 5 with 2 diamonds. So someone could have top pair. Someone could have a flush draw. With all that being said, I think I have to lead out on this board, and that's what I do for 2/3 pot, considering there are a lot of draws, right? So $50 is what I bet. Normally, if there are like flush draws, things like that, I'll size up to charge them. But it gets over to the hijack player. Thinks about it for a second. The money going back and forth that you see is to the other players. They're betting on songs, and whoever can say who the artist is wins. They're betting $2 a song. So anyways, hijack makes the call. Button player does fold, and we go heads up to the turn, which is the 6 of spades. Changes absolutely nothing other than, I guess, 5, 6 getting there, maybe 3, 4 of diamonds, and that's it. So when the 6 of spades comes, like I said, it really changes nothing in my mind. So I decide I'm going to bet big. I bet 130, which is maybe a little too greedy because he pretty much snap folds. I think I could have sized down maybe, but I also think 130 is fine too. So just didn't get paid on this one. On to the next hand. We are back to pot limit Omaha. Look down and see ace, king, queen, jack. Unfortunately, it is rainbow, but still a very strong hand, you know? It'd be nice if it was suited. Cutoff raises up to $10, gets around to the button player. He does eventually decide to make the call. And guys, you're seeing a lot of Omaha hands because once again, the game has been shorthanded. So that's why you're seeing so many. Normally you will see more Hold'em hands, but these are the hands that happen to get the most action. And the game didn't go long, so had to make a vlog for you guys. Anyways, action gets back around to me. I raise it up to $40. Under the gun player is not deterred. She makes the call. Action gets back to the button player. He decides, hey, I raised in the first place, so why should I fold? He throws in some calling chips. The cutoff did that. The button player decides he doesn't want to play, relinquishes his cards to a dealer, and we're going 3 ways to this flop in Omaha. And guys, this flop has already ballooned up to $135. So yeah, this is going to be the biggest pot of the night. Hopefully we can win it. Flop comes out 6 jack 9 with 2 spades. I do have the ace of spades for the nut flush blocker. Luckily, action does check through though, and the turn is the bink king of clubs. So now we have top 2 pair. Queen 10 did get there for the straight, but there wasn't much action on the flop, so I feel like I can lead out here pretty safely, and that's what I do. I lead out for $60, a little less than half pot, and you know, once again, if I get raised, if someone pots it here, I can safely just fold my hand and not have to worry about it too much. So that's kind of where my head's at. With that being said, under the gun player calls, goes back around to the cutoff, and he decides to call as well. This pot is 315, and after getting called in 2 spots, I'm pretty much done with this hand. So when the 4 diamonds comes off on the river, changing absolutely nothing, I'm in check call mode, and that's what I do. I check. Under the gun player announces she is going to bet $150. That gets the cutoff player out of there, and action is back onto me. Whoo! Not a great spot in Omaha. Like I said, Queen 10 does beat me. But other than that, not too much does, unless she just rivered a set of 4s. So after thinking about it for a second or two, I just do a side call, throw the money in. If she has a set, she wins. If she has a straight, she wins. She flips over her cards. She does have 2 pair. Unfortunately for her, though, I have the 2 pair. King Jack beating her 2 pair and scooping in this $615 pot. Not too bad of a night. All right, let's go on to the next hand and see how the final hand of the vlog goes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally made it to the final hand of the night. It is once again a pot limit Omaha hand. I have $5 on the button. Look down and see 9 jack 5 for a... It's horrible. It's a horrible hand, but I straddled. It is what it is. I'm in this hand. Once again, another Omaha hand I would have folded pre-flop if it wasn't for those dag-nabbit kids. Or the straddle. The straddle I put on by myself. with all that out of the way, action's folding around. We're on the big blind who is deciding for everyone what he wants to do. Eventually he does make the fold. Under the gun calls. Under the gun +1 raises up to $10. Middle position player calls a 10. I call the 10 as well. Under the gun, who had limped for the 5, calls a 10. So we're going 4 ways to this flop. And if we're going 4 ways, the flop's not too bad, guys. Flop comes out for Jack-6. That's right. Flop top and bottom pair. And it is a rainbow board. So flopping top and bottom pair on shorthand at Omaha is pretty good. Middle position player bets out for $15. Action gets back to me, and I decide that I want to raise this up because I don't want to let any more draws come in, any more straight cards, any more cards that scare me. Even an over, like a king, an ace, a queen, anything like that scares me at this point because my hand's so vulnerable. So I have to protect it. I raise up to 85. Under the gun goes all in for 95, and the middle position player folds. I ask for a count. Dealer lets me know it's $10 more. Never folding for $10 more. So I flick in the call, and we are going to a run out. I did ask him, or I let him know, I said, hey, I don't care what you want to do, whatever you want to do, make a call. He didn't say anything, so we're just going to do this one straight up. The turn comes Queen of Spades, and the river comes the 7 of Spades. So yeah, I have no idea if I'm ahead. I let him know I have 2 pair, and I'm crossing my fingers that it's good. He flips over his hand, and he has aces. We did not get counterfeit. We win with 2 pair, jacks and 4s. That's right, the Robbie bringing it home and winning $250 to close out the session. Let's go to the outro and see how much money was made. Alright guys, do me a favor, let me know what you think of the new vlog style, if you like it, if you don't like it, or if you're new to the channel, what your opinions are. But anyways, ended up in for the game for 300, out for 1,400, so made 1,100 in profit. Not too bad of a night. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Appreciate all the love and support. It really does mean a lot, guys. Honestly, all jokes aside, I do appreciate it. And I hope you continue to watch. As long as you do, I'll continue to make them. See you guys on the next one.